This car has Batman wheels and pretty nice rims. This is the BYD ATTO 3 SUV at $173,888, a prosperous number. This is probably one of the best EVs you can get at this price range. It costs 30% less than the Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive. For disclosure, I am a Tesla investor and part of Tesla Owners Singapore Club. And I believe as Singapore transitions to sustainable energy, many companies can thrive together, and BYD will likely be one of them. The BYD Singapore team was very kind to allow me to test drive this car. So thank you to the team. In this video, I'll share with you a tour of the BYD ATTO 3 SUV, as well as share my experience using it this weekend. Click subscribe to stay updated to more videos on EVs. BYD has been making cars for 19 years since 2003. They are transitioning from an ICE company into an EV company. As you see here in this oil platform in my t-shirt, ICE is going away, washed away by the wave of new, not just because it's better for an environment, but because it just makes better cars with EVs. The BYD ATTO 3 is one of the first vehicles to use BYD's new dedicated E-Platform 3.0. So it's a no-compromise dedicated EV platform. It doesn't need to share designs with hybrid and also ICE vehicles. That means it's got more benefits compared to their previous vehicles, like the BYD E6. This car comes in 5 colors. The most popular and iconic color for this car is blue. It also comes in red, gray, green, and white. And you can see this car, the design is inspired by a dragon. So if there are any Game of Thrones fans here or House of the Dragons fan, let us know down in the comments. The front headlights looks like the eyes of the dragon as we head towards the back. The side resembles the scales of a dragon, and the rear lights resembles the tail of a dragon. Dimensions wise, it's just slightly smaller in height, width and length than the Tesla Model Y. It's a pretty spacious car. It's well built. The BYD does not yet have an app. They aim to release a BYD OS app in the future. That means today there are 2 ways to unlock the car. I've got an NFC card like the Tesla card, as well as a car key over here. So these are the 2 ways to unlock the BYD. Let me show you where it's done and how it's done. I'm going to use the NFC card today. There is an NFC sign here in the side mirror. So this is where we tap this car. Voila, and it's unlocked. You must lock and unlock this car manually for now. So as someone who's been driving Teslas a lot, I made a mistake this morning. I parked this car in Novena Square, went down about to bring our daughter to class, and we forgot to unlock this car. So I had to come all the way back up, tap the NFC card again to unlock the car. So one ask for BYDs in the future is allow us to have auto lock and allow us to lock and unlock the car with the BYD app. As we unlock it, another difference with this car is that it does not have a frunk, which some people expect in an EV for now. The way we unlock the frunk is through this handle down here. Let's go in front. This lid is heavy. So as we pull it out, this is what we see. I think it barely has space for a frunk. It probably needs the air spaces to keep everything cool. This is a front wheel drive car, so the motor's in front. Whereas for Tesla's base variants, they are rear wheel drive. So it's a single motor car. In the future versions of the BYD, like I believe the Seal, may have a frunk and they'll probably also be rear wheel drive. So this is what we have right now. The frunk is very important for me personally because when I travel, my sensitive equipment like my laptop and my cameras, I prefer to keep them here in front. So when we do reverse parking, this is the easiest way for a driver to access storage. And in some countries where it's not as safe as Singapore, sometimes thieves or burglars, they could be looking at the side mirrors in front or even in the trunk behind. A lot less people will actually try bother looking at the front. It's a good workout holding this for a while. So this is our car. Now let's head behind. Because it's an SUV, it's got a good amount of space. There you go. It's a hatchback. It's got storage space in the side pockets, so we kept some things here, and also on this side, some cereal from this morning's grocery run. On top of this space that we have here, we can lay the seats back. Also, there's extra space down here. So while this is level, if you want to create a little bit more vertical space, some height, you can actually bring this down. And there you go, even more space behind. I think no problem at all for family use. Press this button. You see a camera here. This is the rear camera. This car has a couple of cameras. Rear camera, side camera by side mirror, and I see two front-facing camera. For the cameras on the BYD, they will record like a dash cam, so you don't need your separate dash cam, which is a very good thing. However, the recording is only front-facing. It will not record what the side and rear cameras see. So that's one small benefit that a Tesla would have, and Tesla also has Sentry mode. Sentry mode means when you are parking your car, your cameras can still be recording to alert you of intruders or any major alerts. I think that helps with the peace of mind, but again, that car is a much more premium car at a different price range. Now that you've seen the exterior of the car, let's take a look inside the car. Welcome to the interior of the BYD ATTO 3. To turn it on, you've actually got to press the start-stop button down here. So foot on the brake, press the button. Hear a little bit of that guitar strum, the birds, the sound of nature, because the interior is a little bit more divisive. While the exterior looks very sharp, the interior is actually inspired by a human body and musical instruments. So you see over here, this one here looks like the muscles of a human being. These air vents looks like dumbbells and treadmills. And you can see in my side pockets here, they resemble guitar strums. And you can actually fit a small bottle down here. It's a little bit warm, you can see us sweating here. In the future, when BYD has an app, I hope they will allow us to have the climate control so that we can pre-condition the temperature before coming in for a comfortable ride. Everything is controlled in this 12.8-inch touchscreen. You can actually change the aircon temperature over here and can cool it down over here. This is their own operating system. You bring it down, you see a few more vehicle controls in this side. What makes the touchscreen different in this car compared to a Tesla is that it's got a 5-inch instrument panel for the driver. The Tesla Model 3 and Model Y does not have an instrument panel. Only the Refresh S and X would have it. They're more premium versions. In this instrument panel, you would see the range, state of charge being displayed here. So we've got 356 kilometers remaining, 74% state of charge. On a Tesla, it'll actually be displayed in the main touchscreen, which is bigger. The Tesla's one is 15-inch, this one is 12.8-inch. How do I find having an instrument panel? I think it's nice. I'm actually okay with having one screen rather than two screens, but I can see why many people love the instrument panel. Another cool trick that the touchscreen has is it can change orientations. I'm curious if you have any ideas on how the changing orientation can benefit us. I think it's a cool feature. And I would love to hear some ideas on the practical benefits. Maybe for some people, they prefer the maps vertical. And in China, BYD is a more extensive app store. There may be more games, more different apps where the vertical orientation is very useful. For someone like me, I've been quite used to the horizontal touchscreen in many of the cars we've got the chance to drive. The charge ports are actually all the way down here in this car. So at the bottom, you've got one USB-C, one USB-A, and same configuration in the rear seats as well. In the front, we have one wireless charger. So this is my iPhone. Just put your phone down here and you can see that it's charging. So you can charge one phone. The aircon vents, it's pretty easy. You see a very nice satisfying click when you open it, and it clicks again when you close it. here in the center console. There's ample space to keep items, and with these cup holders, you can fit your bottle if you want something deep, and it's got this adjustment layer to raise the height, especially if you've got a smaller cup. Maybe you go to Starbucks, you order a short size, keeps it higher and lower. A cool thing about this car in front is that it's also got a sunroof. So you click over here, you first remove the shade. Okay, with this button on top, I actually have to hold the button all the way. But if you use the touchscreen controls with the top window, you can actually just slide it. So sunshades down, open all the way. I'm going to slide all the way down for the sunroof. Like so. Yeah, so you get a little bit of space, enjoy a little bit of fresh air if you want to. Just gonna close it back again, same thing. And we'll keep the shade on. The difference between this and a Tesla is that Teslas would have a very expensive full top glass roof, but you can't open it like this sunroof. Most new cars now come with voice assistance. One feedback I have is the trigger word is here, you can see in the screen. Hi and then the brand name. However, when I just say the brand name, watch this. BYD. It triggers. So if I'm having a conversation with a friend, I say that the BYD is a very good car, the voice assistant may trigger. So I think they can improve this in the software update.
More. You can say things like dial Jack's phone number or change the color of the ambient light to red.
Right now, we just have to be silent for a while for the assistant to disappear.
I'm afraid I can't do that yet.
The good thing with this car is that it's got over-the-air software updates, like a Tesla. It's using its own operating system, and support for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay will come by the end of this year. Another thing about this car is it looks like a normal car. You see a lot of buttons in the top, in the center. It's got this stick here for gear shift. It's got a lot of buttons here in the steering wheel. Some people appreciate that there are a lot of buttons to control things. This button here actually controls the orientation of the main touchscreen. You've got different wheels here. And again, you've got two sticks as well. This is the turn signal sound. And you turn right. These sounds can be programmed. You can also put standard turn signal sounds if you want as well. I think interior wise, it is actually pretty solid, very well built. There's no creaky parts when you touch the different parts of the car. Everything is good. The door handles are unique. These are actually the speakers next to the door handle. And the door handle, again, it's probably supposed to look like a dumbbell. And the way you open it is just push it down and open the door handle. There are a few other controls here for the windows. You've got the trunk opening down here as well. So to open the trunk, you just pull this button, you got to hold it down. And you can see the trunk opening behind us. To close the trunk, same thing, just press the same button and the trunk closes. My family and friends who sat in the Atto 3 so far find the seats comfortable. Some say this looks like gaming seats. No complaints on the seats. Now let's take a look at the rear of the Atto 3. This is the rear of the Atto 3. Spacious. It's got enough space for my head. A lot of leg room. Because this is their dedicated EV platform, you can see there's no transmission tunnel. I put my bag down here. If I lift this bag up, lots of space. And you can see the air vents down here. Charge ports down here as well. USB-A, USB-C. And you got a BYD design logo over here. Down here, 2 cup holders, and my daughter's been sitting in the back seat so far, enjoying it. She likes the sunroof, so I'll give BYD credits for that. Here you've got touch lights for the cabin lights. So on the Tesla, it's a click. On the BYD, you just touch. That's it. And you can see at the top, we've kept some items as well. So I've got a bag here, a BYD bag. So I think overall, really happy with the space. All the passengers who sat in this car remarked that it's pretty good for road trips, pretty good for family, no complaints. And again, the build quality on everything is solid. For this price range, it's hard to ask for more. Now that we've had a full tour of the car, let's take a drive. We're here in Seletar. I'm going to drive all the way south to Ang Mo Kio, where there's an SP charger. Over there, we'll show you what's it like charging this car. We'll see you in the front seats. I'm using the SP app on our phone, and we're going to go to Tech Place 2, which is in Ang Mo Kio Avenue 5. So I've got my phone, Google Maps, this is backup. We're going to use the car's navigation as well. Tech Place 2 here. You can also compare like how does the navigation on the car contrast with the Google Maps map on my phone. So to use the navigation, just click on this. Let's go to Tech Place 2. Here it is. It's a Roman 2. Okay, 13 minutes.
Proceed to the highlighted road.
So we're now in park to shift gears. This gear selector down here to drive. We've got our turn signals. Let's make a move. So we hear the
150 meters at the end of the road, turn right to Hyde Park Gate.
turn signal. All that voice is coming from this navigation here. And you can hear a very, very light chime. So below 30 kilometers per hour, this car would actually make an artificial sound
Turn right
for
to
safety.
Hyde Park Gate. In 150 meters, enter the roundabout and take the first exit to Hamilton PL.
It's a pretty comfortable ride, pretty steady. However, this car does not have the same one pedal driving like a Tesla. So it has 2 modes of regen. It's got normal and high. This is on high.
Take the first exit.
But the car doesn't stop by itself when you release the accelerator. You still have to tap on the brakes.
In 300 meters at the end of the road, turn right to Park LN.
Here in Seletar, you can actually see the airport and all the planes in front of us. Now we're in a quiet street, you can actually just try out sport mode and show you a little bit of the acceleration. One thing I miss compared to a Tesla is that you actually see all the roads, all the cars around you on the touchscreen. Maybe hopefully in the future BYD can do that with all its cameras around the cars. Let me show you a little bit of the acceleration again. This is on sport mode. This car has adaptive cruise control. Whereas for Teslas, as you know, they've got autopilot, which is very confident, very straight. I missed autopilot. But again, this car handles well. No issues at all. So you notice when there's cars in my blind spot, that triangle lights up orange. So take a look at this truck later. You see, it's lights up. It's very helpful. Teslas have the blind spot camera, which is good because they utilize it. So it's different cars have different ways of trying to be more intelligent. We've reached our destination, so we're cancelling the navigation. Now we need to find the SP chargers. Let's keep a lookout. Okay. I think we are clearly lost. So let's pause. Let's stop. And let's take a look at the SP app together. Tech Place 2, lots 205 to 208. Where could they be? Found it, finally. Okay, with a Tesla, we normally do reverse parking because the charge spot's behind. But for the BYD, we actually do park forward facing because the charge spot is in front on the driver's side.
Yeah, I can see the camera.
So the camera is actually really clear, it's pretty good. It's a reverse camera, but can also activate it anytime. Like so.
Okay.
Okay, so we go forward a little bit more. We're here. Welcome to SP Charger. So the good thing in Singapore is that the public EV charging network is growing. Tesla has a supercharger network with 9 stations here, and there's also 3,000 public EV chargers across the island. It is expanding a lot. I was just pretty surprised when I looked at the SP app to see how many chargers they had across the island. As you can see. Let's head out and let's charge this car. So we're going to press stop as we exit. We've got AC and DC chargers here. However, I just realized the CCS cable is too short to reach our BYD, so I actually need to repark on this bay. This may happen time to time as we get used to EV charging, different types of cars, different cable lengths. So I'll see you as I repark this car. Hopefully, second time's the charm. CCS charge port over here. And one thing I want to comment about charge ports from other brands is that for Tesla, the charge port opens upwards, protects naturally against the rain. For most other car brands, you've got all these plugs and you need to unplug. So just a little bit more steps to get to charging. Plugged in a charger. Scanning the QR code. And activating. It'll take up to 30 seconds. You can see up here, it says preparing the charge, setting up communications with the car. I hope this one works. Fingers crossed. Yes! First time charging a non-Tesla EV. Success. Here it shows charging and you can slide the stop charging. Because BYD does not yet have an app, if we leave the car, let's say we go to the mall, go grocery shopping, we may not know what the state of charge is. So for now, let's go and see from the front console where we are at. You can see in the instrument panel, we're at 72% state of charge currently. It's charging 63.1 horsepower. I would like it to show kilowatts, and it's telling us that it takes about another 24 minutes for a full charge. We'll stay here for about 15 minutes. The state of charge will go up to probably close to 85 to 90%. We don't need to charge it all the way up to 100%, but the BYD ATTO 3 has LFP batteries, like Tesla rear-wheel drive cars. That means it is okay to charge up to 100%. It will not hurt your battery health. We've been here for 16 minutes, and we now are at 88% state of charge. Quite a very prosperous number. You can see it's charging now at 33 kilowatts. It was at 48 earlier. As your state of charge goes up with EVs, the charging rate slows down to help preserve the battery life. What we're going to do now is we are going to stop the charging. There are two ways of doing it. You can press the stop button here, or on the SP app, you can slide the stop charging. So stop charging. And there we go. Let me unplug the charger. And you're going to do the opposite. Just got to close all these ports here again. And that's it. Our first charging experience with SP charger. Not too shabby. I just noticed on the app that it shows we finished 12 kilowatt hours of charging and it costs us $6.86. So for a full state of charge, it's probably around $30, a lot cheaper than petrol and lower maintenance costs for an EV. So the annual running cost of owning this car would be a lot less than having an ICE car. What stops a lot of people today is probably the upfront cost. You may pay a fair bit more first for an EV compared to an ICE car. Let's head to our final destination and wrap this up with a final verdict. BYD picked the ATTO 3 as its flagship car to launch in many new markets around the world. In Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and next year in Japan. My verdict is that this is a solid car, not just an EV. Cars cost a lot in Singapore, up to 3 times more international prices. So we really want to get a good car, we think a lot before buying one. At a price range above 200,000 Singapore dollars, I feel that Teslas are probably the best EV choice. I love having single pedal driving. You don't have to tap on the brake, it's more relaxing as a drive. I love having autopilot, which is so confident on highways. And also, I find that the frunk is very useful for someone like me, a lot of utility. And of course, a lot of us think about charging. Tesla has the supercharger network with 9 stations island-wide. However, at a price range below 200,000 Singapore dollars, the BYD ATTO 3 is, to me, one of the best choices for an EV. It's got great range, 420 kilometers, which is not too far off a Model Y. Great build quality, nice design, good colors to choose from, handles well. Now, the price difference between a Model Y and a BYD ATTO 3 is $75,000, and that's a lot of money for some of us. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. How do you find this car? What else would you like to know about the ATTO 3? Happy to share in the comments too. If you found this video useful, please click the like button. Hit subscribe to explore more EVs together.